What's going on, Dolphins? It is your boy Dillon, and I just got a really quick little update here for you with the head coaching search. Not much, not a ton of information, but just to let you know, Mike McDaniel did do his interview today, although there hasn't been like any news or anything that's come of it. There's been no, certainly there hasn't been any announcement that we've, signed him as our new head coach or anything like that. But he did have his interview. It was scheduled for today, and by all accounts, he has conducted it. So, we'll just see how it plays out. We still do not, as of right now, have a head coach. And part of the reason for that is believed to be that, Jim Harbaugh is still in play for the Miami Dolphins. Obviously, you know that that's my number one guy on the list. And it's a dream scenario for me. I think that Jim Harbaugh has the highest probability of turning this organization around, making the right decisions, directing Chris Greer in the right way, and getting Stephen Ross to, get his hands off the product and out of the decision making, and we'll be able to overcome the dysfunction and the chaos and stuff like that. So I think he has the best chance. I'm, still crossing my fingers. Hopefully it can. But there were reports today that Jim Harbaugh went and interviewed with with Minnesota. And there is apparently a high level of interest in taking the Minnesota job. Now, we'll see how that plays out. I mean, obviously, as I told you, Stephen Ross is not going to be, completely absent if Harbaugh decides he wants to leave Michigan, which there apparently seems to be a pretty good chance of him doing that and wanting to leave Michigan. So, because apparently Michigan, they did offer him a new contract, but he's avoided signing it on multiple occasions. Apparently Michigan is looking to, or has interviewed, at least one or two other candidates for potentially filling that vacancy. So, Harbaugh has expressed interest in potentially, maybe, possibly wanting to come back to the NFL. So look, and Stephen Ross has said publicly he's not going to be the guy to steal Harbaugh away from Michigan. He wants him to stay there, et cetera, et cetera. But again, I can't believe that he, behind this, that's his public statement. And I think that he truly does want the public image to be that he doesn't want to take Harbaugh away from Michigan. And I think on some level he does actually believe that, right? Like, he loves Michigan. It's his alma mater. He's, given them a ton of money, et cetera, right? So, I believe he does want Harbaugh on some level to stay there, but he does realize that if Harbaugh makes the decision, then, fair game, right? So, but even still, he wants the public perception to be as clear as it can possibly be that he didn't have any sway on the situation, right? Now, again, I find it impossible to believe that Stephen Ross is not behind the scenes talking to Harbaugh, right? Not necessarily saying that he's trying to edge him or push him, but he's saying, hey man, how you feeling? What are you doing? Let me know what's going on with you. And then in the event that he decides to leave Michigan, hey, you should come to Miami. Right? So I do believe that is happening behind the scenes, and that's kind of the thing right now is we're trying to see. I even seen a thing on Twitter that Minnesota and their owner, whoever the owner is actually trying to help Stephen Ross and the Dolphins get Jim Harbaugh while making it seem like Ross had nothing to do with it, right? Hey, man, I mean, I guess, whatever. Listen, I want Harbaugh. I think it would be the best decision Stephen Ross could make. I honestly don't even know why he's playing, this whole thing. But if it ends up in us getting Harbaugh, then, I still find it a little weird that you would have to play these little games or whatever. Like, I mean, just put it out there. I don't know why it would have been so hard to just say, look, I don't want to take him away from Michigan, but if he decides to leave, then, you know, I'm going to inquire about it, right? So, like, I don't know why that would have been so hard for Stephen Ross to say, because, I mean, it makes sense, right? Like, I get it. You don't want to take him, but if he makes an independent decision, then it's not your fault, bro. So I don't know why you got to, like, try and do these behind the scenes things, but that's just who Stephen Ross is, man. And we've seen it time again. We've seen it with Harbaugh in the past, right? When he's tried to court Harbaugh in the past. And then, you know, we saw it most recently with this Deshaun Watson thing, right? Him trying to, you know, get in contact with Watson behind the scenes and things like that, et cetera, right? And have some of those lawsuits, the 22 allegations, he was trying to have some of those cleared up so he could feel confident making the trade, right? So it's just who Stephen Ross is. But hey, look, Harbaugh is still on the table. We'll see how it happens. You know, as I said, I'm cautiously optimistic because it looks like the two finalists for the job, Harbaugh and McDaniel, are two of my favorites, right? Now, to be fair, there were 5 other guys listed in front of McDaniel just because they're veteran guys who have more experience, who have been head coaches before, etc. But McDaniel is unquestionably only one of 2 first-time head coaches that I even considered. Like, I don't want Kellen Moore. Nothing personal, but I don't want Kellen Moore, for example, right? Or the running backs coach, Thomas Brown from the Rams. No, thank you. Or Gerard Mayo, the linebackers coach from the Patriots. No, thank you, right? Like, so I'm cautious because the Dolphins, unfortunately, like, you know, I'm not one of those Dolphins fans that just completely ignores the past and every year hits the reset button as if one of the homies from the Men in Black came up with one of the little neuralizer pens every offseason and fucking wipes my mind. Like, I still remember all the shit that's happened, and I keep it all in my evaluations, especially over the past 10, 15 years, because the people who are making the decisions back then are still in place making decisions now. So the only thing I have to use to go off of to make evaluations is their track records. And unfortunately, they are not very good when it comes to Stephen Ross and when it comes to Chris Grier, right? So unfortunately, that is the case, and they have to prove to me otherwise until I'm going to be confident enough to, for example, have faith, right? Like, I can't just have faith that they're going to make the right decisions when historically they've made pretty much nothing but terrible decisions. So, until they prove otherwise, and look, they could end up signing Jim Harbaugh and they could still find a way to fuck it up, right? That is distinctly possible because that is this Dolphins organization under this leadership. But these 2 guys, I have to say, leaves me cautiously optimistic because they're 2 guys that I think have the highest probabilities. McDaniels has the highest probability as a first-time head coach to be able to have success and overcome the shit. But hands down, I think Harbaugh, clear and away, has the highest probability, just period, because of the fact that I think he's the one guy that Stephen Ross actually would just fucking hands off and I feel like he could run the show across the board. You take the owner basically out of the picture. He can fucking run the front office essentially through Grier, right? And then with Marvin Allen, Reggie McKenzie, those are veteran guys. So you have all, and then he's going to build a good coaching staff and he's going to fucking, you know, so I'm not worried about Harbaugh. I think he's one of the only people. I'm not sure if McDaniel can overcome the dysfunction and shit, right? I don't know. And that is going to be a primary concern for me And it has nothing to do with McDaniel. It's everything to do with this organization. So, but I do think he has the best chance. So we'll see how it plays out. It is going to be interesting. I know I'm kind of like, ranting a little bit here and saying things I've said before about how I feel about these guys. But it is going to be interesting because, the Dolphins are not in a rush. They haven't signed anybody to paper or pen to paper yet, right, as a head coach. Time is a ticking. Other organizations are filling their vacancies. And, I don't know. Like I said, this Dolphins organization, man, until they prove to break these same cycles, I'm always going to be worried that they're going to find some way to screw it up. And, I could see potentially them, trying to go after Harbaugh, and because of that, they wait a little too long, and then Mike McDaniel's like, oh, you know what? I guess they're not really that serious, kind of like Daboll, and maybe he decides to just stay in San Francisco and puts it out to the team and everything and to the public. I'm going to stay in San Francisco, and then maybe Harbaugh then decides to take the Vikings job. And then we're left with, like, Kellen Moore, who should also be having a second interview this week, right? Like, I'm just saying, I actually don't think that's going to happen. I think that the probability is we will get at least one of those two guys. But you never know. So anyway, with that, I'm going to wrap it up. Before I get out of here, I want you guys to check out the Rave On Sports App, the new fan-driven sports app for all of your sports, whether it be basketball, baseball, football, college, whatever you like, they got it. And they are looking to enhance your game day experience with live play-by-play coverage, live chats with other fans and content creators like myself, while also giving you an arena to dispute the terrible officiating. So look for the links to that in the description box. And with that, I'm going to get out of here. I hope you guys appreciate my perspective. If you do, make sure you hit the subscribe button. Make sure you hit the like button. Make sure you hit the bell if you want to get the alerts. Share my channel and videos with your friends and family. Leave your questions, comments, and concerns down in the comments section. And as always, follow me on Twitter at DillonTartaro, as well as on Instagram at Dolphins_with_Dillon. And with that, I am out. I'll see y'all soon. Fins up.
7 seconds left. Tannehill will throw it. And this will end it after the shovel. Miami runs around, circling, on the go. Gronkowski did not mean to go. Touchdown. Can you pray? A miracle. Miraculous in Miami. Stills to Parker to Drake. And they held off the field. Unimaginable what has taken place here in South Florida. The Dolphins have done it. They keep their season alive. 69 yards. Wow. Pure joy. Miami wins it.